You can mostly protect the human identities using conditional access policy. What about non-human identities then? You might have non-human identities as well in your solution. Non-human identities access to resources must also be protected. Currently, you can't use conditional access to protect non-human access to cloud resources. You need to use another method like grant controls for OAuth-based access and several other security solutions. Diagram on the screen show you some guidance in this regard. Protecting non-human identities such as robotic process automation, devices, Internet of Things entities, and workloads like application and containers require specific security measures tailored to the nature of these identities. For robotic process automation, you can have human and non-human identities. Human identities is used for attended process automation and non-human for unattended process automation. Attended process automation means it is operated by the human to some extent. In such cases, you leverage secure authentication methods like single sign-on and multi-factor authentication for the human operator and ensure that the attended robot only has access to the resources necessary for its task, following the principle of least privilege. You should monitor and log the actions performed by the robot to detect any unusual behavior. In the unattended robots, which is operated without human intervention, you should assign a dedicated service account with minimal privileges necessary for the robot task and store credentials securely using tools like Azure Key Vault and avoid hard coding them in scripts. You should isolate the environment where unattended robots operate to limit potential damage in case of a compromise. For devices such as desktop and laptops, you use endpoint protection platform and endpoint detection response solutions to secure and monitor devices. You also regularly update and patch operating systems and applications to protect against vulnerabilities. You should implement policies and enforce device compliance. Ensure that only secure and managed devices can access corporate resources. For mobile devices, you use MDM solution to enforce security policies, manage device settings, and remotely wipe lost or stolen devices. You should also use mobile application management to control access to corporate data within a specific apps. You should ensure that mobile devices are encrypted and encourage the use of biometric authentication for additional security. In IoT platforms for device authentication, you should use secure methods for device authentication such as certificates or tokens managed through a secure IoT platform and assign unique identities to each IoT device and use role-based access control to manage permissions. You should use protocols like TLS to encrypt data in transit between IoT devices and backend systems. You encrypt sensitive data stored on the devices or transmitted to other systems. You should also implement continuous monitoring for anomalous behavior and security events in IoT devices and regularly update device firmware to patch vulnerabilities and improve security features. For applications and web apps, you should implement secure coding practices and use security testing tools to identify vulnerabilities during development and deploy WAP to protect web applications from common attacks like SQL injection and cross-site scripting. For scripts and automation, you should avoid storing sensitive information in script. Use secure vaults for credentials and enable detailed logging of script executions and monitor for unusual activity. For containers and microservices, you should use container security best practices such as minimal base images, vulnerability scanning, and runtime security. You should use secure mechanisms like Azure Key Vault or Kubernetes secrets to manage sensitive data and configuration settings. You should also implement network policies to control communication between containers, limiting access to only necessary services. By implementing these measures, as a cybersecurity architect, you can help to significantly enhance the security of non-human identities, which ensures that each identity is protected according to its unique risk profile and operational context.